Central Bank of Nigeria has warned deposit money banks against the practice of circulating composed banknotes, which is part of their deposits with the Apex Bank. CBN has expressed concerns over the increasing number of these composed banknotes, with the members of the public usually request for their replacement. There's fines if they don't replace those notes. Arise business analyst Chika Mbonu joins us to discuss further. Chika, good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, sir. Would you like to begin the
let's have the notes.
Yes, the notes. Yes, the bank notes. What do you make of the CBN as well?
Well, just like we do in this program, that will try to help our viewers understand things a little more.
Yes.
See, no matter how much you try for cashless society, there must always be cash.
Yes.
Even in the developed economies like US, where cash is discouraged. See, the volume of cash in the economy is still very high. So same here. So as you know, most times when you go to the markets, what is used to transact is not the POS,
right,
but the physical cash. And so the cash comes into the banking system. Now the banks sort out notes in like clean notes. Then they want to have the second group they call dirty and maybe weak notes.
Yes. And
then the last one is the mutilated notes. Mutilated notes are like those ink has fallen on them. They've been torn, tied together with sellotape, and such like. But the weak notes, what happens is that the weak notes and the fading notes, the banks normally pack them in boxes and send to CBN for exchange and get credit for that. Now, the real issue in this story, which is what I wanted to bring out, is the fact that also CBN expects the banks on these mutilated notes to pack them in boxes. 1,000 naira in a box. One box will be 10 million naira.
Okay.
500 naira in a box. One box is 5 million naira. 200 naira, 2 million naira, and so on and so forth. Now, the problem is this, that CBN, as we understand it, do not allow the banks to bring the boxes for exchange, the mutilated notes, the boxes into central bank for exchange.
Okay.
Until the box, like 1,000 naira notes, is up to 10 million.
So there's a threshold.
Yeah, it must a box is 10 million.
Right.
So it must be a box.
Right.
For the 500 naira, it must be like a box, which is 5 million naira. And 200 naira, it must be that. So it must be a complete box, 1,000 naira, before you take it into CBN. So what happens is that the mutilated notes don't come in every day.
Right.
So the banks sometimes, it may take them 5 years, 3 years
to be able to
accumulate that. And so they have in their vaults, mutilated notes of like 5 million naira, 1,000 naira notes, or that, or they're looking at it every day. And it's like, let's some of it, So when they're packing the other notes that are bad, not too bad notes, the soft notes, the weak notes, and the notes, sometimes some of them slip by into this.
Okay.
And that's what causes this.
Right.
So CBN is saying, if you continue to do this, we're going to penalize you.
Got you.
That's the story behind this. It's not much.
Got you. Thank you for explaining that. So do you think they'll see an improvement?
Well, I mean, the banks are not allowed. It's a chicken situation. The banks are not allowed to reject notes brought in by customers.
All right.
So they will continue to receive mutilated notes. But the problem now is that CBN must work out ways of taking these notes, even when we're now up to one box for 1,000, which is 10 million,
right,
500, which is 5 million naira, and so on and so forth.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they should allow the banks they should accept from the banks notes when they're not even up to completely one box. Because the banks now can sometimes stay up to 1 year, 2 years before they can make up to that box, and they have those money piled up there, and they don't have value for it.
Gotcha.
Cash is not earning.
Exactly.
That's actually the story behind this.
Thank you so much for that, Chika. Thanks for breaking it. Chika, you're a frequent traveler. You're familiar with, what do you make of this private labs making billions in PCR tests?
Oh, it used to be. Let me explain to you how it used to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to South Africa. For the 8 hours before I do a PCR test. Before it was 50,500. Now I brought it down to 500 now. I think it should come down lower.
Right.
So 5,500 to 48 hours before my trip, I must do tests.
Yeah.
So I bought a plane, go to South Africa or London, as case may be. As I get into London or South Africa, I must do an immediate arrival a COVID test,
Yeah.
paying in foreign currency. About 48 hours before I leave to come back to Nigeria, I will do tests again in that South Africa or Ghana or London, which I pay in foreign currency. At the same time, book online in the NCDC website for to do another test in Nigeria.
You come back.
Second day and 7 days. Each again, 50,500, 50,500.
That is a lot.
So for me, for that trip, on Nigerian basis only, imagine 50,000 times 3. That 150K.
Already, yeah.
Forget about the ones I'm paying in
FX.
in FX. So that's how it has been.
Wow.
And these guys were smiling home with millions and billions. And that's the story behind that report, the table we saw.
Yeah.
And so they're making a lot of money. And I was teasing them the other day when the UK people came out and said, once you're vaccinated,
no more
PCR tests.
Right.
And then also even Ghana said now, once you're vaccinated, no more PCR tests. Once you get to the airport, arrive in Ghana, you do antigen test, $50. I mean, it's so expensive. So all this are going to moderate now.
Right.
If you're vaccinated. But I think they're going to gravitate from the PCR test, which is a more intensive test, to the antigen test, which is almost immediate. Instantaneous.
Yeah. 15
minutes to get a result. So that is cheaper. So the revenue lines will not disappear, but those
the jamboree is over.
The jamboree is over. It's significantly reduced.
Thank you, Chika. Still on healthcare, what do you make of the number of
our
doctors?
I mean, what do we say? You need to interact with some of these. I think it starts from the big picture. The big picture is the health system in Nigeria. Because if I start from the down, which says our doctors are poorly remunerated and poorly paid, that's the first thing.
Right.
You see somebody who has you go and read 4-year course and come out. Somebody go and spend 8 years there, and then with all the qualifications, certification, he comes back and then they're paying 50,000 naira. Some doctors are earning less than 100,000 naira.
Yeah.
You believe that? Nigeria here.
Yeah. Gosh.
And so the Nigerian health system, the NHS, the insurance scheme is very weak. Only about 1 or 2, maybe max 3 of them are liquid. Most of them have collapsed or illiquid. So how many people are going to the hospital? So the hospitals are poorly patronized. How many people can pay for medical bills? The revenue that comes to hospitals are very weak, and therefore they can pay very poor salaries to doctors. And lo and behold, people come to you and say, let's come out to our country. We're going to pay this amount of money. I mean, you
leave.
Even if you sing the national anthem for me, from morning till night, and national pledge, and bring Nigeria and put on my head. I mean, I'm going to go.
Right.
I'm going to go. And the sad thing is that whenever doctors go over there, they're usually the best.
Exactly. They shine
They shine very well.
Yeah.
Because over here, with lanterns and candles, they do things and they excel. So you can imagine where the way things work. And so it's a sad commentary on our economy.
Very, very quickly, Chika, can it be turned around?
Of course, it can be turned around. The issue is that, remember, the health system, the liquidity in the health system. Now, the average person, when they sick, what do they do? Abroad, you just go to the hospital. Over here, you go to your pastor to pray first. Or go to your pharmacy to take Panadol and just say, it's not my portion, it's not my portion, it's not my portion. That's the thing.
All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, thank you so much
Thanks
for
a lot,
joining us. Appreciate your time.